My name is Victor Bell. I wanted to do today's quick webinar slash video training on this and do a quick introduction to myself on how to create wealth investing in apartment buildings and how I do it. Number one, um, that was the introduction. So my name is Victor Bell, and I wanted to introduce myself to you guys. So a little bit about me and my background is I bought my first properties when I was about 24 years old. I got out of the military, didn't have any money, no credit, no rich friends. I went to college, but I failed out of that. Within my first semester, unfortunately, they said if I came back, I was going to owe them money, even though the money was free. Um, that was a problem for me. So I ended up getting in trouble. I got a felony charge. I started working while I was on probation as a condition of my probation, or I was going to go to jail. So once I actually started working, man, about 2 to 3 weeks into that stuff, they made me a manager. Like I got good work ethic. I was really pushing, but I knew I didn't want to do that for a long time. I knew that wasn't my thing, and I didn't understand how people went to work and that's how they lived. Like I barely was able to do anything else other than that. So I went to the store. I got a book from the store, and it was about buying real estate, no money down, like everybody else is doing. So I did that, and within my first year, I did $1.2 million in real estate. I knew that's where I wanted to go. So my experiences with creative financing, I've wholesaled deals, I've done property management, I've done acquisition and disposition, I've raised money, raising capital, um, multiple times over the whole course of my career in 20 years or more now. So I realized that I made more on multifamily apartment buildings than actually pretty houses, because with pretty house business, it's great, but it's a feed or famine. It's transactional. Like I got to be out there all the time, and that's fine. And I still do pretty houses, but the multifamily apartment buildings is really where it is because I learned quite a bit quickly with that. So my focus is 100% on apartment buildings as I'm building this stuff. And I created Bell Capital to allow more investors to actually invest alongside of me to get into some of the larger deals in the target markets that I'm in: California, Hawaii, Florida, Texas, things like that. It became a passion of mine because I was also a real estate investing coach. I used to be a coach with Dave Lindahl, Apartment House Riches, and I noticed something that most people that were like, "Hey, I want to do apartment buildings," there were so few people who really succeeded. And I recognized just recently, as I began to build my company and wanted to expand, that instead of being a coach, odds were that people were going to succeed a lot more if they actually worked specifically with somebody. So I was like, hey, what if I created Bell Capital, build out my organization to actually bring people on board to work with us and actually offer investors an opportunity to invest alongside of me, because we're going to get deals that they can't, depending on the circumstance. So the way that I kind of do this with my real estate investing is my value add map. So first off, here's what we do. We find the deals, and I have a rule. Like it's a 65% all in rule of what the deal looks like, and I'll go over what that looks like with you guys later. And then we set up the acquisition and financing. So the acquisition financing, because that's a different perspective. We're going to go in and take a look at these deals that are under market, undervalued, they're underperforming, right? Because they're value add. Value added meaning we add value to the property. And there's a specific type of financing, a specific type of debt, like a debt funder, hard money lender, local banks, um, all of that stuff that goes along with that. But we line that up. That's the map. Then next, I raise the money from investors, other partners, things like that. So we raise the down payment and the operating money. Then next, we implement the value add plan, which is rehab, raise the rent, and stabilize any rents that are currently there, add in any amenities, clean things up, do parking lot, plant palm trees, lightings, gates, do the stuff that I enjoy in a property, and to build a community around the property, not just buy the property so people stay long term, right? So next, man, I stabilize property. So that's the other part. So then we move into the stabilization. Usually it takes 12 to 24 months to stabilize a property, depending on how many vacancies, what we had to do to it, things like that. And then after that, we move into a refinance and hold. That means we pay off our investors' initial down payment, and if we can take out money, great, we do. And then we put in long-term financing or acquisition to replace the acquisition financing that we put in. That's the map, man. That's how I do it. That's the value add map that I use, and that's what I've been using to be successful over the past 20 years. This is how my 65% rule works. So just like in the residential side, you guys may be more residential players or you're new to this game. In every market, that's how we figure out what a property's worth. We use what the comparable sales were in the residential side, but in the apartment buildings, it's a lot easier to figure that out. So we use stabilized market value. So if we rented it up and it was performing right, what would that stabilized property be worth? So that's an easy way to do that. And then we take that times 75% minus any repair costs that are going to go along. So we got to do the parking lot, which we do, roofs, which we do. We look at making the units, hardening the units, meaning like we do better countertops, kitchen cabinets, flooring, things that are going to last for 5-10 years, because we're going to have this property for 10 years or longer, right? We want to make sure that we do that so we don't have a lot of additional costs later. So we minus that cost out, and then we minus any operation cost and any other costs. So like say for, to keep all my people going and paid, and to make sure boots are on the ground taken care of so we can continue on running. I mean, every business has its own cost, right, to keep moving. And any other costs that we're going to be able to include, closing costs, points, things like that as we're raising, right? All of that, 65%, it needs to, whatever it is that we're offering, that needs to be 65% all in, including all those costs. So including our acquisition costs, including our rehab costs and operation costs. We need to be below 65% all in for this deal to kind of be a good deal. And that's actually not hard at all. Everyone's like, oh, the market's up. You're never going to find a deal like that. Well, you have to go out and kiss a bunch of frogs to do that, because if you're just out there buying for full retail value, man, you're not going to make any money. That's not the game of a real estate investor. I didn't get into the real estate investing market or to the real estate investing world to just buy a property at full market value and never make any money and hope and pray. Like, that's not how it works. Not real investors. And anybody doing that you see has already went through this, and they're taking this money and rolling it into those trophy properties that they don't have to do any work on, because they just want to park money. They can't just let it sit. For us right now, that's not where we are. Later, maybe so. But this is an example deal that I did. This property, we call this deal Mango. It was a 10-unit apartment building in Honolulu, or in Hawaii. Not Honolulu. It's in one of the submarkets of Honolulu. So at takeover, this property was not occupied. Like, we had a high vacancy. So the gross potential rental income was about $120,000 a year if it was all filled up and perfect. The vacancy when I took it over was actually more than this, but when I got the property and got involved and did some of the rehab, because I did a takeover, we got financing. This where it was $36,000 in vacancies. That put us at $84,000 a year. So far as where it actually set in gross income, in the actual effective income, and our expenses were $33,600. Okay, that put us at a net operating income of $50,400 for the year, and I purchased it at $1 million. Our down payment was $250,000, which I got from an investor, and $30K in rehab and reserves, right, which also came from our investor. After takeover and value add stuff, the gross potential income was $120,000. Our vacancy we got from, I want to show you this, $36,000 to only $6,000 in vacancies for the year. That brought our income up to $114,000, and our expenses were at $39,900, which brought our net operating income to $74,100, up from $50,400. Right? It appraised purchase price when we did the takeover was $1.4 million. This is when I bought it. Right, when we actually got in the funding, we brought in acquisition funding because I took it over first, and then I added the value add, and then it appraised for 1.4. Remember, we bought it at $1 million. At the time of resale, our income was $142,800. Our vacancy was at $7,140, and that put our effective income at $135,660. Our expenses were $47,481, and our NOI was $88,179. Whoa, that's a lot, dude. I'm telling you, that's huge. Our value was $1.7,763,580, and we resold the property at $1.7 million. Our equity, so we made $700,000. That was the equity position that we were in it for. We did cash out, refinance to our investor partner, and paid out, so it became a true no money down deal for him, and the rest was all profit because he stayed in the deal with me all the way up until the end. So when you get that, man, you can see how we were even still at that 65% rule, even in a market where people say that doesn't exist, but that is absolutely not true. I see it here. I see it all the time. You just have to get the right deal, and it takes a lot of kissing frogs. I look at hundreds of deals, talk to a lot of owners, a lot of brokers. I talk to a lot of lenders, a lot of other local investors, and they bring me deals all the time. I just went to go take a look at a deal the other day. That was a small deal. Now we're looking at bigger ones. So my buying criteria as I'm looking is value add deals only. Distressed situations, that's either a distressed situation inside the property, needs some minor renovations, not full blown rehabs, or there's some management issues, right? So the owner is motivated. That maybe they've inherited the property, they want to move on. Maybe they don't owe that much on the property. This is the smallest property that they got, and they're just ready to take a small haircut and move on for no headache because that's what we are able to do, right? 40 units minimum. It doesn't make sense to go any smaller than 40 units because here's the deal: we have to pay good people good money. So in order to be able to do that, we need to be able to do salaries and payrolls for people who are going to be working in the operations to make sure that they do a great job. And I have a theory: if you don't pay people good, they're going to quit or they're going to steal. They're not going to do their jobs. That's not what we want. We want to bring on good people and give them something to do so they can support their families. 40 units minimum, as a minimum, usually does. At 30 units, okay, great, but they need to acquire. We need to be about 40 units. So if you see something like that, or if you look at any of our deals, they're probably going to be right about there. Landlord-friendly states or sunny states. I like California. I like Hawaii. Everyone says it's not landlord-friendly, but here's the difference. I also want to be where I want to be. People don't want to be where it's cold at. I don't want to be where it's cold at. I've bought in states like that. I have to travel there, go there. I had to take a look at it. I had to put people in on the ground. Things freeze up. There's a whole different thing. So it's either landlord-friendly states or sunny states. Florida, Texas, California, Hawaii. Like, where do you want to go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I think about when I do stuff. So A or B class areas, workforce areas, white collar areas, blue collar areas are fine. Like I said, a blue collar where people are working, and white collar areas like people are younger moving into apartment buildings and people are older moving into apartment buildings. They're not doing backbreaking work anymore, and it's an area where people can still get affordable rents. Man, rents are going up. So I like to play in areas that are nice, people want to live in. They're going to want to live in them for 10, 20 years. People are going to continue to live in those areas. That's really important to me. And last but not least, I like to play by the 65% rule, 65% all in. That includes our acquisition, our renovation cost, and our operations for our people. And going from there, that's my criteria when I look at stuff. So where do you find this wholesale price apartment building deal? So one, residential realtors, residential wholesalers, and vendors. That's an easy way to do that. You can email them if you have an email list, or you can actually just reach out to them. Like I said, usually people are on my email list already. There's a way to get emails from people. Next, you have your MLS, your residential agents. So maybe some of the properties that they put on there are misrepped, right? They have them there, but they're not represented correctly. Like it's an apartment building. Let's say it's a 20-unit, 30-unit building. It's owned by somebody they know. They put it on the MLS, but maybe the numbers aren't right, right? So follow up with those things. Things on the MLS that's been on there for a long time. Commercial players may not even be looking at them, or they don't know what to do with them, right? Cold calling. Cold calling for rent by owners or for sale by owners. For rent by owners, maybe they're on Craigslist, maybe they're online, maybe they're in Facebook Marketplace, things like that. Follow up. Maybe they're a unit for rent inside of an apartment building that you can tell like it's a direct person that you can call and say, hey, we're interested. Or for sale by owners. Mom and pops that have a portfolio of 4 10-unit buildings, 5 20-unit buildings that they've collaborated over the years, and they're just like, hey, look, our kids don't want them. Our management company is a little bit harder to deal with. We're just ready to move on. Those are good. So cold calls, right? Driving sites. The same way you drive residential houses that may have grass overgrown, for rent signs, something that's been vacant for a while, the same way you do with apartment buildings. Do the same thing. Direct mail. Get a mailing list. Mail these people, man. Apartment building owners they're not hard to find. Like, you just send them a mail. You're also driving. You're also cold calling people. You're also hitting up agents. You're also emailing people. Direct mail is a direct contact to these people. They get mail. I get mail. I mean, that's what it is. Delinquent taxes. Maybe they have not paid their taxes. Maybe they are on a payment plan for taxes. Maybe their taxes have went up and they didn't budget for these things, and they don't have the additional income coming from the properties because it takes time to raise rents. This stuff matters. Eviction court. That's another one. With all the laws and changes with leasing and rent caps and stuff like that, people are in eviction court a lot longer. So it's easier to find the LLCs. There's attorneys that only deal in eviction right now. So you can befriend one of these people, let them know, like, hey, we buy apartments. So, I mean, if you have an owner that is constantly in eviction court, you think maybe that's an issue, maybe, let's talk. Let's figure out how we can partner. Building code violations. Um, Sometimes a building code violations, man, are a dead giveaway. You got somebody who cannot fix a building. There's stair issues. There's parking lot issues. There's building issues. They're not fixing them fast enough. Section 8 comes and looks at properties. We don't want a bunch of Section 8 properties, but people come in, they do look at stuff. It could be fire code. Like they came, they did a fire code violation. There's an issue and they haven't fixed them yet, or they haven't done the inspections in forever. All of this stuff, man, these are also resources to be able to find deals that you can offer less on the properties. It doesn't matter what they want. It's going off of cash flow and current situation because I'm a situational buyer. Social media connections are next. You can reach out to people online and say, hey guys, we're looking for apartment buildings, 40 units or more in great areas, great locations, but maybe the owner is looking to sell. Maybe there are some vacancies. Let me know. I'm interested. I'll partner with you. If you find a deal like this, let me know about it. Let's see. Also, RIA meetings, going to meetings, holding your own meetings, and getting own strategies. You got to put yourself out there. No one can give you a deal if they don't know you do them. So you got to constantly put yourself out there that this is what you're looking for. You buy these things and you want more of them, send them your way so you can take a look at them. All right. So, how do you become a part of what we're doing? You can do that in two ways. You can either partner with me or you can invest with me. Partner with me meaning like you become a part of our acquisition team. You work with us. We train you. You go out, you look for deals, and you're a part of our company, right? I said I wanted to do this because a lot of people go out and they buy courses and they sign up for coaching programs and they never win. So I was like, how do I just expand my organization where people just work with us? They work inside of our company. We call them acquisition specialists or apartment assassins, like I like to call them, where you're out there. I train you, I'm mentoring you, I'm holding you accountable. You work for our thing, you get paid as well as you get paid. And sometimes when you get paid, you're going to reinvest and become a part of the investor side of our properties because I'm going to tell you, man, that's the biggest way to play this game. Other companies, training companies, are not doing this. They're not building an organization. Instead of just charging you money as a coach, they are building an organization to support you as a part of the actual company. That's what I'm doing, and I wanted to do that because I figure, hey, look, if the statistics say only 5 to 10% of the people that attend a seminar are successful, how can I change that? I can do that by building an organization that hires my people and trains them and holds them accountable to buy these deals, and we fund the deals, and you're a part of the deals because you're part of the organization. So you get to learn, you get to do, you get to invest with us, and you get some real accountability inside of an organization and with a person who is committed to growing. That's where I'm at. My goal is to create a $5 billion real estate company through our acquisition company for Bell Capital. And if you want to be a part of the bank, you don't have time for that. You're like, hey, look, I got some money, Vic, and I want to invest. How do I become a part of that? Reach out to me. Let's find out what your goals are, what you're looking to get accomplished, how we can work together, and how we can either do a partnership or you can invest some of that money and you can still be a partner. Like, I would rather get some of the deal with somebody who's great, who understands what we're doing, than get 100% of the deal and me out there scrounging around just like you. I'm sure you would probably rather get some of that deal, invest your money, get a great return with us than to get nothing and to try to figure this out yourself. Man, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of work. And if you're busy building your business or working, building your life for you and your family, you don't have time to talk to hundreds of brokers, look at deals, fly out to deals as you need it, as well as negotiate those deals, inspect the properties, put the teams together, manage the deals, turn the deals around, set up the financing. We do all that. All you really need to do if you're going to play the bank is stroke a check and get a check. That's how this thing works. So here's some of my contact information. You feel free to call or text 808-778-1326. That's my direct mobile. If I don't get you, I'll always get back to you. Email me directly, Victor E. Bell Jr. at gmail.com, or you can go to victorbelljr.com. We're revamping my page. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram at Victor Bell Jr., or you can go to my LinkedIn, which is Victor Bell Jr. I think I'm one of the only ones. So, man, thanks so much for sitting through this and taking the time. I'll do this better. I'll make it more mobile, more reality based. I'll be in front of the camera so you can see me, but ultimately I wanted to make sure I had this to you or for you. So some of the people who are really interested in this can actually get involved with me, because I want to get involved with you. And that's the two ways. You can be a partner. You can work with me, working outside our organization, and learn how to do this and bring deals to the company. Inside of the company, like I said, I'm telling you, you're going to have to pack up and move. I'm not looking for someone who wants a job. I'm looking for someone who wants to work, wants to be a part of a growing organization where we're going to be buying a lot of property per year. And if you just want to be the bank or you just want to invest money, reach out to me. Let's talk. I can make this simple. You're going to get great returns. You're going to win because I want to win. I just don't like to lose, and I don't want to lose my people's money. That's one of the rules. Don't lose money. So make sure that we get great deals, and that's what I've been able to do for 20 plus years. All right. So if you need anything, that's my contact information. Make sure you hit me up. If you have any questions, hit me up. If what you have questions and I don't know the answer to them, I will get the answer to them because I got a group of people that I consult with that get my answers done and get things done for me quickly. All right. So any way I can help out, let me know. Let's talk soon.